right, we are live. All right, everyone, welcome to another Sinister Sunday here on the Black Metal Rebellion. With me today is Matt from the Green Iron Cannibal channel. Thank you for joining me for the 25th episode of Sinister Sunday. Today, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite artists and what genres we would like to see them try to do outside of the current genre that they already perform in, be it black metal, thrash metal, slam, you name it. And then later on during the show, we will be talking about some albums that we're looking forward to coming this year, or maybe some albums that we'd hope to see coming this year that haven't been quite officially announced yet. So, before we get started, I want to let you guys know that aren't aware yet that I do have a second channel right now with Jeff Topsy and Super Mike Sanguine called Stuck Skateboards. It's a offshoot from a couple of the vlogs that I started doing on my channel. I'm just moving the skateboarding over to that now, as we've actually started our own skate company and team, and we also now have merch available on Redbubble. I did a video a couple days ago showing off the shirt I got, which is this, the Stuck Skateco white Brutal logo shirt. I did a review on how well the Redbubble shirts turned out and what quality you can expect. So please take some time if you're interested in skateboarding or interested in seeing any more of me and Super Mike and eventually Jeff. And go check out the channel. Maybe go give a few videos a watch and give a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more skateboarding content in the future. Also, I want to give a shout out to Azeg Gala from Azeg's Abyss for picking up a Stuck Skateco Red Brutal logo shirt. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. He has a video up on his channel right now doing a review of said shirt, and he also did a unboxing for his skate. So go check that out too. We're really been getting into skateboarding and stuff recently, now that the weather has been getting better. So yeah, just a couple of plugs before we get started here. I'm going to hand it off to Matt now, and he's going to tell us some artists that he would like to see in different genres.
So if you've watched this live stream or since I've joined, or if you watched my channel at any point, you would know my favorite band of all time is Green Day. And they play punk, pop punk, whatever genre you want to call it. But their main guitarist and singer always talks about having been influenced by hard rock and metal bands from the late 70s and the 80s. So I think it'd be pretty cool if at least him or maybe all the guys in Green Day did something metal or hard rock. I think that would be pretty cool, especially since Green Day on a couple of songs in their career have teetered on sort of that hard rock edge, as well as at one point they even put out a song that basically is a metal song. Imagine Corpse Grinder clean singing. That'd be funny if he was in a band where he did that. I don't think he'd sound pretty good since he's done the growling his entire career, but you know, I know he likes quite a few bands that do the clean singing, so that'd be a weird one to see. Fucking shit. Want to see, I guess while I'm on the subject of Corpse Grinder, maybe Cannibal Corpse if they did a thrash album instead of death metal, especially since kind of like Eaten Back to Life did have those thrashier elements to it, as did a lot of the early death metal stuff, because death metal wasn't really solidified. And I guess that could kind of go for any sort of like death metal band that came out during that time, you know, just to see them do a thrash record instead of a death metal record. Maybe Dimmu Borgir if they did something that was, I don't want to word this. maybe if they did something
If they did actual black metal.
Yeah, they go back to what they were at the beginning. I don't know, I was gonna say do something like extremely orchestral to the point where it was like even more than In Sorte Diabli or Abrahadabra. Just like primarily orchestral stuff and hardly any guitars or stuff like that. But yeah, seeing them do actual black metal, that'd be cool.
Of course, I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't want to get anyone too butthurt about that. Like Dimmu Borgir is black metal. They're just symphonic black metal. I'm just joking around, but yeah, actually, what you said about them going full or orchestral or dark doomy kind of orchestral with the black metal vocals on top of it would be pretty epic. Just to see them kind of just lean hard into that and see what they could come up with.
Yeah, that would definitely be pretty cool. And like I said, I had to. I know with In Sorte Diabli and Abrahadabra, they definitely upped it on the orchestral parts, but there's still a lot of black metal elements, and even if you don't want to call it black metal, a lot of extreme metal elements still that were on those records. So I'd like to see something even more orchestral. Shits and Giggles, a hair metal or glam metal band, becomes death or black metal. I think of everything that I've listed off so far, that would definitely be the worst if it was to happen, just because that type of metal isn't really extreme, and you don't really see many crossovers of like artists who are in like a hair metal or glam metal band then going over and doing death or thrash metal. I'm sure there's a couple, but you know, I can't really name any off the top of my head.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Like you said, like some fairly well-established glam metal bands, like say Poison or Motley Crue or Twister or anything, that see if they could pull off some like thrash or death metal stuff. Maybe use the same language, but if they could like make it heavier, or in the opposite spectrum, see if these I don't know how to explain it, but maybe like if the three bands that I just said, like Poison, Motley Crue, Sister, maybe did glam, but instead of the glam vocals, maybe use like thrash or black vocals on those kind of riffs. That'd be neat.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. I guess kind of going on what you're saying, imagine like some of the some death metal or black metal with having clean sung vocals over it. I don't think that could be done as well as maybe doing screaming over a glam metal song, but no, that's another thing to think about if that was the case. Amon Amarth, imagine them doing something that wasn't Viking themed. Like I guess I'm kind of getting into the lyrical content now with that one, but you know, like imagine like they were still death metal, or maybe they've had some blackened elements on some of their earlier records, at least in my opinion. But imagine they went blackened instead of death metal, and just they didn't sing about Vikings or shit like that.
Hell yeah, man. The if I'm on a mark went the direction that the new Skeleton Witch went, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Imagine if deathcore bands played death metal. I think a lot of people would like them more. Not to say there isn't some bad deathcore, there isn't some good deathcore bands, because there definitely are, but imagine them having more riffs and stuff instead of just breakdown.
Tempted to throw in a breakdown, I think.
Yeah. Who else? Sorry, I kind of mentioned all the main ones I want to do, but I'm trying to think of some others, so I'm just staring at my collection looking for a band that sticks out.
No worries, man. Actually, it would be kind of neat if some well-known death rated the slams where the breakdowns would be. So if they had Born of Osiris, but instead of breakdowns, they had slam riffs instead. Or if you could get like old school Whitechapel stuff, but instead of that'd be neat.
That'd definitely be pretty cool. Fuck, who else?
Well, I'm just saying because there's kind of a rise in slamcore now, or basic death with breakdowns with slams.
Yeah.
A good example of adding black metal vocals to something that's not normally black metal would add a subject with the album Between Two Worlds, because basically that's just British old new wave metal mixed with his black metal vocals.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. That could sound pretty sweet.
This thing. So yeah. So basically just that. If you ever want to check that out, it's called I Between Two Worlds, and it's basically just Abbath singing over top of British, new wave of British heavy metal riffs and stuff like that. Abbath, it's got King from King of Hell, and it's also got Geta from that other black metal band. But yeah,
nice.
That's cool.
I'll definitely have to check them out.
I kind of just keep it with the Abbath, so because I think Abbath's main idea, but with King of Hell. And speaking of which, it'd be really cool to see a new Of Hell album with Hell and from Dimmu.
Fuck yeah, that'd be pretty cool. What if like a band like Elvati or Korpiklani, instead of with them having those folk influences, what if they went straight folk instead of having the metal elements in it? Because I guess they do, because Elvati did a full acoustic album, and I think it sounds really folky as opposed to their traditional metal stuff.
I could see that. I could also see them throwing in like thrash and black metal riffs top of the folk, add the extra grooviness, because folk metal is fairly groovy and like melodic on its own, but then you add in like those thrash riffs, maybe some odd tremolo black metal shit. That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, if it's done right anyway. Fuck, I literally just had someone else, but now it just slipped my mind. Korn or Slipknot without electronic stuff, or maybe flip it the other direction. Korn and Slipknot if they went full EDM instead of having the metal stuff in there.
That'd be interesting. I think you'd get a lot of pissed off people, though.
Oh yeah, of course you would. But I mean, that's kind of the idea with these. I guess that could be a thing too with us, like discussing if someone went into a different genre. You know, not everyone's going to like it. You know, there'll definitely be some who will, and there's going to be those people who they might not like it, but they're going to buy it or support it anyway because it's that guy or that girl or whoever. And then there's going to be people who are just going to straight hate it, you know? But that is kind of what happens when artists go into different genres, though. Because obviously it has been done.
Well, I think
on like a super, it's not on a massive scale. Usually people just stay in the same genre.
Yeah, I think it's worse though if the artist uses the same name, but like the band name changes and it's made clear to the fans that no, this isn't like if Slipknot started some Nine Inch Nails stuff, if they called it Slipknot still, they'd be pissing off all of the maggots. Them all up. If Slipknot called it, if they called it something else other than Slipknot, but they kind of let the fans know, hey, it's like 90% of the sand. We're choosing to do a project under this name and incorporate industrial goth metal elements, whatever Nails is. I think most of the fans would be fine with that because then it's not, you know, sullying the Slipknot name if you care about that end.
Fuck, I just remembered who. It was Ailstorm. I know they're a pretty funny band, but like imagine if they kept that folky, piratey stuff and ditched the metal. Or just didn't sing about pirates. They have a completely different band. For sure.
So like a death thrash version of Ailstorm that wasn't a parody of pun drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That'd be sick. I'd buy that.
Me too. The guys got some the guys in the band definitely have some real talent. So that'd be cool to see what they could do with it. I don't really know much more. Listed off quite a few. I'm sure there's a couple others that could make some cool genre changes or that I'd like to see, but I think I'll end my list there, at least for now. I'm sure if I come up with someone else that you don't say that I think would do good or that I would like to see in a different genre, I'll definitely say something about it.
All right, cool, man. Deathlike Reviews, aka Nick, he says Wasp album with black metal vocals.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be good. One of the viewers named John says Venom makes some thrash and black metal. How did he word it? Venom making for thrash / black metal to make Norwegian black metal. So Venom doing actual second wave Norwegian black metal, that'd be cool because, in my opinion, Venom has never made an actual black metal album. So for them to do an actual black metal album, hell yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Better than this Venom Inc. crap.
Yeah. I don't like any of that shit. I didn't like Venom to begin with that much. They had a couple good songs, but this Venom Inc. stuff, I don't like it at all.
Oh, it's bad. You know what they could do? Boom.
Yeah.
So an artist that I would mind seeing some stuff from in a different genre would have to be Chris Barnes, since his are going anyway. Maybe go the way of black metal himself, since Philip Anselmo can do metal, not Chris Barnes, because in my opinion, Chris Barnes' vocals is like way better than Phil Anselmo's, but Scour by Anselmo Crue is amazing. I can't wait for the next Scour album. So yeah, I would love to see if Chris Barnes could actually do black metals and get some black metal artists to do that shit. I don't even think I would be mad if it was under the 6 Feet Under name, because 6 Feet Under albums have been kind of experimental anyways, because he's been pulling in different artists in his lineup. Like, he's got the guy from Cannibal Corpse to come and do some stuff. He got the guy from he got a guy from a thrash metal band to come and do some stuff. I don't know if it was Municipal Waste or what, but he came in and did like, I don't know, those Unborn and Undead albums had some slightly different death metal style of low tuned. It's not like deathcore or slam, but he did some like lower tuned guitar stuff for those albums. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him go into some black metal, maybe even thrash. I don't know, he could pull off metal vocal during his whatever's going on with his throat, but I wouldn't mind seeing him dabble in some of that. Someone says Viking Crown is great. Yeah, I actually have one of the crowns. Don't ask me where the fuck it is, though. Maybe it's in my US metal. I think that's it right there. Yep, there we go. I do Viking Crown. That was fun. There's some good tracks on there. There's some not so good tracks on there, but it was neat. Glad sure in the collection. Someone said Testament should do black metal. Casket Brain, good idea. I think Testament would be very good at black metal, since I think some of their earlier stuff might have like slightly leaned toward, not obviously actual black metal, but they definitely leaned towards it a couple of times in their earlier albums, I think. Same with Either could do black metal easily if they wanted to. But I think Testament and Kreator like selling albums, so I don't know if they'd take that step down in popularity.
Definitely not. I guess that would be cool too, since I love Kreator, I love their thrash stuff, but if they did black metal or death metal, I'd like to see how that would turn out.
Yeah, I think at that point, if they were to do like straight black metal or just straight death metal, Testament or Kreator would probably have to form that under a different band name, because I think the fans wouldn't accept it as much as we would maybe like it. I think the general audience for those two bands would be like, what the fuck?
Yep, they definitely would.
Did I mention the Fenris thing yet, or was that just in private chat?
That was just in the private chat. It's a good idea, though.
Okay, so Fenris from Darkthrone. I know Darkthrone kind of dabbled in like some heavy metal and kind of dabbled in some like crust punk stuff here and there, sprinkled throughout the black metal. But I wouldn't mind seeing Fenris do a solo project, or if Ted wants to join, that's cool. But I wouldn't mind seeing Fenris do like pure punk or like a pure thrash band, because Fenris has very interesting tastes when it comes to bands outside of black metal. Like, if you ever see his like monthly artist recommend list or whatever that he does, it has some really fucking cool bands on it that you might not otherwise into thanks to Fenris. So yeah, I would love to see what his take on thrash would be, or what his take on like legit would be. definitely.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure of any other black metal artists that would dabble in punk.
No.
I think from Akitsa, another guy from Akitsa dabbles in punk. But maybe, yeah, there you go. I guess guy do punk album pretty sweet because I like the stuff that kind of sneaks into the Akitsa albums. One of the members of Testament had a black metal like review. Which was that? Because I will definitely check that out. How's it going, Stefan? Glad you could make it to the stream. Casket Brain says Death Angel would be cool for death metal. There you go. That kind of makes sense considering the name of the band.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, I know it's probably not going to be a popular opinion, but I wouldn't mind seeing the guys from Metallica tackle some other genres as well. I don't know what genres. Maybe tackle some maybe death thrash, or maybe tackle some Black and Death. Maybe, I don't know, crossover between thrash and nu metal. That'd be neat. I know no one here is a fan of nu metal, but I have a nostalgic kind of spot for it. Well, and it's also kind of an unpopular opinion, but back when Slayer did the Diabolus in Musica album, which was kind of a cross between thrash and nu metal, that was probably some of my favorite Slayer material. Like, that was when I could almost stand Tom Araya's vocals. So I think the cross between thrash and nu metal is like a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. Well, there are a bunch of the mainstream metal bands went either the nu metal way or the grunge sort of way, the grunge influenced metal kind of way in the mid 90s to sort of keep up with the changing times. And some of it actually did work out pretty good. So, if they went, maybe if some of those bands maybe went the full direction towards being a grunge band or a nu metal band, it could turn out pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I could see maybe Cement or uh, or like Anth kind of going the Soundgarden way. Like, if they'd put out a Super Unknown style album, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I wonder about maybe a couple artists doing heavier stuff. Which, because I know you mentioned Green Day, seeing them do something heavier. Anyone from Blink-182 is interested in metal. Like, is Tom DeLonge into metal at all?
I'm not sure. I always got that other band, Angels and Airwaves. That's kind of a bit different from Blink-182, but that's not metal by any means.
No, that's like even softer.
Yeah.
And then also did Bracer, which was basically Tom's other solo project before Angel and Airwaves happened. And it was basically just a darker version of Blink-182. So I don't know if that really counts. As a guitarist, I think, really talented. So I maybe he could pull off some thrash.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know Travis Barker does stuff across all different types of genres. He's done, obviously, Blink-182. He's done some stuff with pop and EDM artists. I think he's even done some metal stuff. But Travis Barker is an incredibly talented drummer who can bounce around, and he's pretty free-flowing and easy when it comes to what music he can play or wants to play. So, you know, I guess 1/3 of Blink-182 in a metal band could be good, seeing as he's probably done it before.
Yeah, Travis Barker could definitely handle being in a metal band. Like, he's got the chops for days.
Yep.
Casket Brain says Motorhead artist would be good for death metal. I don't know about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. If tomorrow the guys from Motorhead announced that they're starting a new band and it was going to be death metal orientated, I'd probably be interested enough to check it out.
They had a lot of punk stuff in it, so maybe it would have been cool to see them go full punk instead of like the thrashy heavy metal that they were known for. I guess some people do call them a punk band too, but they're not. When it comes to punk, they're not traditionally what you think of when it comes to a punk band.
No, they're basically just kind of hard rock with the odd, maybe slight metal element and slight punk element. But yeah, they're mostly just a hard rock band.
Yep.
Just a really kind of edgy, grimy kind of hard rock band. I know the guys from the Casualties could get pretty heavy, seeing if they could take a thrash album maybe.
I'd like to see that for sure, especially since they're pretty much hardcore. So all they got to do is change how it's written a bit, and then they'll have a thrash album.
Yeah, well, they're kind of 3-chord power chord riffs that are punk is really fast. They got some kind of chunk in times. They just have those street punk hardcore vocals layered over top. You could definitely make them more on the edges, a little faster. Throw like a couple of slight metal elements, and it would change it just to be so. They're pretty close as it is, but yeah, full-blown thrash would be neat. Stefan Goldberg said Cannibal Corpse doing a thrash album, which we got another person supporting that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I would like to see if George Fisher could lend his vocals in a manner than just that growl, 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 scream formula that he does for every single song. Panopticon doing straight folk music.
Yeah, that'd be another band that'd be good. That's kind of along the lines of what I said earlier with Elvatia Corpiclani doing a straight folk album. But yeah,
they could probably pull it off.
Yeah,
now
definitely could.
Now, if I don't know, if Fin Troll could do it, because they definitely want to put some metal in there for some of the elements. They're pretty crazy guys.
Yep.
I don't know if they could calm down long enough to just do straight folk.
Nah.
Stefan Spurzum went from black metal to ambient music. Yeah, but the reason why it went from black metal to ambient music and have proper instruments while in jail. In jail, all he had was a program that allowed to make synthesized noise and stuff like that. He didn't have a guitar. He didn't have an actual drum kit or anything. So that's the only way he was able to make music while in jail. I don't think he intentionally made that, because I think if he was out, if he was still, you know, a free man at those times, he still would have made black metal.
Yeah, I definitely think he would have too.
Nick also says Tom Araya doing rap. Oh man.
I know he can do it pretty fast.
I mean,
he could do rap.
It can't get any. Yeah, I mean, it can't get any worse than his Slayer vocal. So I mean, why not? Oh, that was another thing I was going to say. The guy from Holocaust, wouldn't mind seeing him do like a straight up black metal album. I know that he has that Yellowgoat project that he does, but it's more like Three Worship, like the first 4 Bathory albums style of black metal. I wouldn't mind seeing Joel tackle like Burzum or Transylvanian Hunger style of black metal, because he's got the chops and he's got the know-how. I think it would just be do that, maybe integrate some more of that into the next Yellowgoat album, even though, once again, I know Yellowgoat is basically just Bathory worship, hence the name of the project.
Yeah, he's definitely got the ability to do it. I've seen him live. The way he does his vocals almost does sound black metal. So he could definitely pull it off.
Yeah, for sure. I also would kind of want to see Ozzy do something else besides just like regular heavy metal. He does some really closer to heavier stuff in the I want to call it Down to Earth, but that's not what the fucking thing's called. That's the name of one of the songs. Where the hell is it? I don't know, but the one before the Black Rain album, they got into some like pretty heavy riffs, and his vocals went well with them. I don't know if it's, I don't know what you'd even consider that. It's just like heavy, doomy, nu metal-y riffs that they did in a couple of the songs. Maybe if he did like even heavier stuff, but obviously I want him to change his vocal style because I like Ozzy's vocals, and I don't think I want him to hear him do like gravelly, raspy stuff. But the background music and guitaring riffs would be neat to hear if it was like heavier.
For sure. I think the album actually is called Down to Earth. I think, but I'm not entirely sure. I was more of a fan of his earlier stuff than his later stuff. Not to say that his later stuff was shit, but the older stuff is obviously the classic, the more classic stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, A Diary of a Madman or Blizzard of Oz or Bark at the Moon, definitely classics. But I enjoyed his No More Tears and Osmosis albums quite a bit. It was a little different, but considered times that he had to kind of keep up and do stuff that appealed to the mainstream audience at the time. So when he came out, it was on the time Nirvana and Soundgarden and all them were kind of getting big, Alice in Chains. So he kind of wanted to add more melodic stuff to the music. Oh, it was called Down to Earth. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't remember what the album was actually called.
And even Scream had some like pretty heavy moments in it, so maybe the new Ozzy Soul album might be fairly so.
Is he actually doing another one?
Well, he's definitely not doing another one with Black Sabbath, which sucks, but
Yeah,
he's definitely doing at least another album or two before Bucket.
I guess that'd be cool to see it. I mean, he was basically on his farewell tour, but it got delayed for all the dates he had this year got delayed until next year because he kept getting sick and injured. So maybe he could put that into use and make some new music instead of just. I know he's older, and the older you get, it's harder to heal up from injuries and being sick. But I don't think he'd need the entire year to heal up. I think he could put it to some use and actually like write some stuff and go into the studio, maybe record some stuff.
Well, yeah, all he has to do is just sit on a chair and sing.
Yeah, pretty much.
The dude's made so much money at this point with Sabbath and Ozzy that I don't think he needs to tour anymore.
No. I think any touring he does is either because.
Speaking of Ozzy, like.
Any touring he does now is basically because he wants to, or I guess maybe his wife, since his wife's his manager, for those of you who are completely unaware, maybe she just wants him to get him out and do one final tour just to get the fans to see him one last time before he goes.
Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Basket Brain says Black Label Society should try to do like a pure thrash album.
That'd definitely be cool. Zakk Wylde's got a whole load of talent.
Yeah, dude's definitely not short on talent, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know if there's any. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Anthrax do a straight thrash album, of like Warbringer or Havok or something like that, but with their twist, and maybe get an actual thrash metalist. I know people from the old days love Joey Belladonna, but I'm not the hugest fan of his kind of weird, clean singing. So if like some of the members from Anthrax got together and with another vocalist maybe and did some like actual like modern thrash, that'd be pretty cool. I'm probably one of the rare ones that actually enjoyed the sound of white noise and Stomp. What was it? Stomp 442, and We Come for You All era stuff with on Bush. Hey, what can you do?
Yeah, they're not bad. It's just they weren't Joey, so of course some people weren't going to like them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I couldn't really see doing Municipal Waste or Power Trip or stuff like that kind of threat. It'd be neat to see if they could lean more towards that instead of the new metal type of stuff they did with the John Book era, or the more heavy metal style version of thrash that they did with Joey. I just like to see them do some like just straight up crazy thrash, but yeah, speaking of hardcore, hardcore, in my opinion, kind of all sounds the same. Maybe I'm just hearing the wrong bands, but I'm subscribed to Hard Wide, and out of 10 times, the band will sound exactly like all the other bands that I checked out. You'll get the odd one that's actually punk hardcore, and then you'll get the ones that are more 80s sounding hardcore punk. But for the most time, sounds like weird tough guy kind of Nails and Trap Them wannabe hard. I don't know. I don't know any bands that I'd want to see try a hardcore as like a different. I couldn't see Metallica doing a hardcore album. I couldn't see Testament or Kreator doing a hardcore album. I could see the guy from Black Flag and Circle Jerks doing something heavier. Maybe I could see him maybe doing a crossover thrash, or maybe a street punk thrash crossover, maybe. But I don't know if I could see him doing anything too much heavier than that. Maybe he would. I don't know. Maybe he'd do something crazy and do some black metal, because I know he's pretty eccentric and he does crazy stuff sometimes in music. But
yeah, I'm with you on
no, not Henry Rollins. No, the other guy, the guy that's in Off and Circle Jerks. Henry Rollins does something else now. I don't know what he does. I haven't checked his solos out. But sorry, man, you were saying?
I was just agreeing with you on the fact that I don't think there would be many bands who could pull off the hardcore stuff. So hardcore is kind of like, it's not one genre. It's like you're either really good at it or you're shit at it. Like there isn't very much of a middle ground with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm looking at it at a very narrow-minded way, but I feel like if you're into hardcore and that's the kind of genre you want to pursue, I think the kind of artists to get into that genre would have a hard time going one way or the other, like either going like street punk or going this direction, going somewhere else. But on the same hand, I have only Cadaver punk project that's kind of like the Germs worship, and then I've got my Drakir project is black metal. So I don't know. Maybe it's just would have to wait and see what they do.
Yeah.
Because when you mix hardcore and black metal, you get kind of bands like Young and in the Way, or Nails, or Trap Them, sort of, or Funeral Chic. Funeral Chic is amazing, by the way. Go check that band out.
Will do when I get the chance.
Yeah, I guess in general speaking, not anyone specific, but I think it'd be neat to see more black metal bands start incorporating more grindcore and noise elements into their stuff. I just like that harsh sound, but also with like tremolos and dissonant riffs and black metal vocals. Bands like Human Bodies and Ashpool and Knelt Rotte kind of mixed together would be sweet.
Yeah. I think that would be
Actually,
cool.
speaking of Knelt Rotte, I really need some more albums.
You're listing off a bunch of bands I need to check out. Because I'm sure I've heard a couple of them, but it's just like the music they make isn't registering in my head. What was that?
Which band is that?
Well, any of them you just named off. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure I've heard of a couple of them, but it's like the music they make isn't necessarily registering. So it's giving me a whole bunch of stuff that I have to check out at some point.
Fair enough. And Goldberg said Megadeth doing punk. I counter that with Megadeth with an actual thrash vocalist. Sepultura would be cool for death metal with an E. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
yeah.
If Sepultura and Brura or Brura, however you pronounce it, like came together and did an album together, that'd be sweet. But then I guess that would be kind of like a super group. Well, I don't know. I don't have any other artists to really throw out there to talk about genres with, unless you have a couple more guys you want to talk about.
Nah, I pretty much named off all of them, or most of them that I could think of off the top of my head.
All right, cool. So, for the next little bit of the stream, I guess we'll talk about bands that we're looking forward to, albums coming up from this year, or artists that we're hoping to, release new music. A couple of artists I've kind of been already talked about in the chat that I've seen. One being Abbath with Harvest Strider, or fuck, what's the name of his new album? But anyways, the new album by Abbath. Really looking forward to that coming out. Just the one song that I heard was fucking fantastic. It seems like it's a couple of steps up from his first album. Definitely looking forward to that one. Apparently, Yellow Eyes is going to be coming out with a new album, so that should be amazing. I can't wait to hear what they come up with after Sick with Bloom, or whatever that last one was that they came out with like forever ago. So looking forward to that one. Apparently Tool is working on a new album, or should be releasing it by the end of the year, but I'll believe that when I see it. Maybe a new Slipknot album is coming. Maybe not. We'll see. I kind of have reservations about that, considering the whole Chris Fenn debacle that happened earlier this year. There's maybe a new Korn album happening, but we'll see. The last album was pretty good. They had one of the songs featured Corey from Slipknot in it, so that was interesting. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Korn maybe with some deathcore artists. So like if Korn collabed with either Whitechapel or maybe one of the guitarists from Suicide Silence would be neat. Or like, because I know Mudvayne's not a thing anymore, but it would be really cool to see Jonathan Davis and Chad from Mudvayne do something together as well. Just because I have that, like I said, that new metal nostalgia boner. I don't know, man. What albums are you looking forward to this year?
Korn and Slipknot. Those are two of the bigger ones that are basically confirmed to come out. That I'd really like to see, especially with Korn and Slipknot both having announced massive tours in Europe and North America for this year. You know, if an album doesn't come out, I'd be surprised. Even if the album comes out in like December or something, you know. Tomb Mold coming out with their third album in 3 years. I know a lot of people think they're overhyped, but I think the hype is justifiable. I love their music. I love their last 2 albums. The one song, the first single from their new album, came out a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. I think it sounds incredible. Blood Incantation, they themselves have said that they're not sure if the album is coming out this year, but they're definitely getting to the studio this year. And, you know, they're the hometown guys. They're from Denver. I'm from Denver. I'm always going to support the hometown scene no matter what. So I'm definitely hyped for them. Another Denver band called Black Curse. I was lucky enough to get to see their first show earlier this year. They're sort of like a blackened death with thrash elements to it. They've said that their album is fully recorded, and that'll be coming out this year. Spectral Voice has said that they are doing a split, I think, with someone else. I can't remember off the top of my head who. So that'll be...
Please let it be Triumph Your Foul.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see that with Triumph Your Foul. They're different in the realm of metal, but with the subgenres that they play, but I still think it'd be pretty cool. At this point, it's been over 2.5 years since Green Day's last album came out, so I'd like to see them put out another one this year. That one's obviously not confirmed yet, but I'd love to see it. Despite the fact that they already released a B-sides album and their second full-length album this year, Trevor from the band Haunt said that they're going to be putting out another album this year. And if it's of the same caliber stuff that they've been putting out the last 2 years, I'm going to be hyped for it. Flesh God Apocalypse has a new album coming out in a couple weeks here. I've always loved their symphonic stuff. And their mix of symphonic stuff and metal, I've always loved it. So, hyped for that. Devourment allegedly has a new album coming out, but they've been saying that for the last 2 years.
Sepsi.
Yeah. To get into some stuff that no one's going to give a shit about, but I like it, so fuck you. Demi Lovato and Sabrina Carpenter both are working on new music, so I like their stuff. Like I said, regardless of what anyone in this chat thinks of me right now, it's my taste, not yours. You're not required to check them out when they put out new music, but I'm excited for it.
Well, what do they play?
Pop.
Okay.
Yeah. Cattle Decapitation, they're actually recording their new album in Denver with Dave Otero, who's done a whole bunch of stuff in the metal scene. They've confirmed that their album's coming out. They just started recording it within this last week here. Full of Hell. I'm not big on grindcore, but Full of Hell is one of those bands that kind of scratches that itch for me. Their album comes out this Friday, I think, actually. And I like all the songs that have come out on this so far leading up to this new album. I think they all sound good.
Yeah, everyone's kind of the new Full of Hell and the new Piss Grave and all that kind of stuff. It's never been my cup of tea, but it's if it's a cream, if you like it, by all means.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess with that, some albums that came out this year already, especially like this past Friday, there were a few albums. Dreadnought put out a new album, Call of the Void, and then Possessed with their first new album in 30 years. I unfortunately have not listened to that thing in full yet, but all three of those came out on Friday a couple days ago, and I was really hyped for them. I listened to a couple songs off the new Dreadnought record. It sounds incredible. Call of the Void and Possessed, I've only listened to the singles, but I still think they sound incredible. So I can't wait to listen to them. And then, as for some months,
didn't man. I was just gonna say that didn't Deathhammer come out with a new album recently too, or was that like last year?
I think it might have been earlier this year. I'm not entirely sure either.
Either way, I definitely need to get a hold of that thing. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think I listened to one song off of it. I think it sounds pretty good. And then I guess for some more sort of mainstream type stuff that isn't necessarily metal, Andy Black, singer of Black Veil Brides, he had a new solo album come out last month, which sounds pretty good. Motionless in White. Yeah.
The Ghost of Ohio.
The Ghost of Ohio, yeah.
We're actually going to go see Andy Black tomorrow. I'm taking the wife for Mother's Day. You'll probably see some Andy Black footage up on this channel later tomorrow night or Tuesday night. So anyone who does, sorry about your luck.
Nice though. I thought about seeing him when he came to Denver, but I was actually planning and did end up going driving to New Mexico to see Slayer on their headlining tour with Lamb of God, Amon Amarth, and Cannibal Corpse. So I need to save money. Another album.
Right. Well, I mean, the wife.
Go ahead.
Sorry, man. I was just gonna say that the wife recently kind of got obsessed with the Satan movie, so she kind of started getting into Andy Black and Black Veil Brides from there. Then just for liking the movie to Andy Black's projects, and then we noticed that the Andy Black concert was going to be in Toronto, so like we booked tickets for it for her Mother's Day kind of present.
Nice. Yeah, Black Veil Brides and Andy Black, they're not bad, but I know a lot of people just don't like them because of the main audience demographic, because it's mainly like 13 to 24.
Yeah.
But I see bands for their music and not their audience group. You know, if I like a band, I'm going to like them. Plain and simple. You know, if the fans get annoying, then I don't go to the show, or I just don't pay attention to the shit that happens on social media.
Yeah, as long as you can get over the fan base, and as long as you can kind of get over how they dress, if that's a thing that bothers you. The actual guitar drumming is good. Andy Black or Andy Six or Andy Burzak, whatever the fuck he calls himself, his vocals are pretty good. And the weird thing about them is that you wouldn't picture those really adult sounding vocals coming out of what looks to be like a 16-year-old kid. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But like I said, I think they're good. Overall, musically, they are all incredibly talented. You know, it's just some people, unfortunately, can't look past that fan base. Or in the early stages of Black Veil Bride's career, when they were wearing all that makeup, you know, everyone thought they were a Kiss clone and wouldn't listen to them simply because of that. Which, again, I think is fucking stupid, but Yeah, that's whatever. I guess people are entitled
Yeah.
to their own opinions. Back to go ahead.
Well, if people have a problem, with Black Veil Brides, then you're gonna have to cash in your heavy metal cards, because that's basically what the Black Veil Brides were doing. They're adding in kind of that post-hardcore element with glam metal and heavy metal bands like Motley Crue, like Guns N' Roses, like Poison, and all that stuff. They're just modernizing it with post-hardcore stuff. So if you don't like Black Veil Brides, then you might as well just throw out all your Motley Crue and Poison and all them records.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the topic at hand. Fetid also has a new album coming out, and I'm excited for that one too.
Nice.
Basically, any band that is out on $20 Spin or Dark Descent Records, that's putting out a new record, I'm extremely hyped for it, just because both those labels, in my opinion, can do no wrong, and so I'm excited for everything that comes out on them. Also, the band Enforcer, they're more of a traditional heavy metal band. Their new album came out a few weeks ago, and I think it sounds absolutely incredible. They're one of the newer bands that can pull off like the 80s traditional heavy metal sound really well without sounding, for lack of a better adjective, shitty or
parody
or just like a complete clone of some other band, which I guess is similar to parody, but I think they're different in their own subtle ways of how the words are.
For sure, man. Basically anything from Knowledge you can probably guarantee is going to be good too. I don't know if Magua is coming out with anything new. Hopefully they, but from should be pretty sick if they're coming out with anything new this year. Also, we can't forget the new Darkthrone coming, Old Star, coming July 31st.
Oh yeah.
The last two Darkthrone albums have basically just been Black Sabbath with black metal vocals over top of it, so it's got a thumbs up. Stefan Goldberg says Possessed just came out with a new album. Yeah, we kind of mentioned that, but I don't know, I'm not down with the blunt, but I'm sure the guitaring and drumming is really good. Whitechapel just came out with a new album. Yeah, it's called which was based on, once again, the Jack the Ripper murders, but they're kind of going in a really weird direction with the vocals and the riffs and stuff this time around. From what I've heard, it's okay. It sounds like a melodic, mainstream version of Disentomb's Misery, but that's just me.
A lot of people are also saying like how Suicide Silence did so terrible with their self-titled album. People are saying that like what Whitechapel's did with The Valley is what Suicide Silence should have done with their self-titled, because a lot of people do like it, at least from what I hear anyway. Even with the addition of clean singing, which I think Whitechapel had clean singing on their previous record too, but it's just, I guess the way it was executed on this record was better than what Suicide Silence did with their record.
Yeah, the Valley is going to be at least 5 times better than the new Suicide Silence. The Suicide Silence song is well known as a joke in the community. They tried to take it to this weird Deftones new metal type of action, just completely shat on their previous discography, shat on everything that Mitch Lucker did for that band. So.
Yeah.
So, he's apparently going to be coming out with a new album this year. Anyone who's watched this channel knows I'm huge into Rob Zombie, movie, music, and anything the dude does. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to 3 from Hell, the fall to House of a Thousand Corpses, and Devil's Rejects. Should be sweet. Oh, and before I forget, Annotations of an Autopsy are coming out City or something like that, or like a new album anyways. So that's gonna be sick. They released a new song to fuck. It's pretty good. Not as good as the first song they released, but the album still should be pretty sick. Hopefully it's a cross between Rankness and the first album. So looking forward to that.
Sabaton has a new record coming out. I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, didn't Lord Husk do like a giant Sabaton unboxing on his channel recently? I don't know if the album was included in that. He did a huge Sabaton unboxing recently, so go check that out if you haven't seen that yet. I think Kreator is actually working on a new album as we speak. I don't know if it's going to be coming out this year. I know they're working on a new album. Those guys are fucking busy.
Yeah. I hope they do. You know, if not this year, sometime in the first half of next year. Because they actually said that they're completely done touring on Gods of Violence. You know, their last tour that they did was that co-headliner.
Nice.
The last tour that they did, last shows that they did was the co-headlining tour that they did with Dimmu Borgir in Europe last year. So, yeah, that'd be nice. Especially their last 2 albums, I think, were fucking incredible.
Those were the Violence and Phantom Antichrist.
Yep.
Yeah, they were good. The New Testament was good. I'm not the biggest fan of the Snake Cult album or whatever it's called, The Way of the Snake. What?
Brotherhood of the Snake, I think. If you're talking about
Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I like Roots way better. Brotherhood of the Snake was still decent enough. Apparently, Cemetery new album. Stefan says it's called "Piss on Your Grave." That's cool. Cemetery Rapist is always shits and. Of course, you gotta like porno grind, but.
Yeah.
Oh, but not really new. I just kind of keep forgetting to pick it up. The new Mindless Self-Indulgence album came out in 2016 apparently, because I'm fucking super late to that party. Is really good and really hilarious. I don't know if we have any like Mindless Self-Indulgence fans, probably not, but if you are, then the album How I Learned to Not Give a Shit and Live to Mindless Self-Indulgence, the 2010 album, is hilarious and really, really good if you enjoy that style of music. And Aaron came out with a solo album just called Uringer, And it's not quite as spastic or heavy as Mindless Self-Indulgence is, but humor is just as good, and some of the songs do get, you know, kind of heavy-ish, but it's mostly just that kind of weird Nintendo kind of stuff that he does, mixed with some like really eccentric kind of experimental stuff. But if you like the humor substance, you'll probably enjoy the Uringer album.
Another Denver-based band. I'm not sure how many of you have heard of them. They're called Valnius, I believe is how it's pronounced. They're not confirmed for anything other than one show that they're doing in a couple weeks, which I'm actually going to. But they haven't put anything out since 2016, and if they put something new out this year, I'd be pretty hyped about that. Pretty sure they're. It's been a while since I've listened to them. But I'm pretty sure they're like a black metal band. I think sort of in the vein of Wayfarer. But yeah, if they put out some new stuff, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Nice. Fuck. Oh, right. Okay, so Vanda and Desolation, both projects from Eddie Wickeland that you've seen myself and Azeg's Abyss open some stuff in the last few months. They're coming out with new stuff this year as well, so definitely make sure to keep your eye out for new Vanda and new Desolation. Shout outs to Eddie. Thanks, brother, for the stuff, and keep up the good work. I think Killing, shout out to Killing, I think are putting out a new single and music video, so that should be neat. Really good thrash from Europe, I think. I can't remember, but yeah, good stuff. Stefan says he really enjoyed the new Behemoth album from last year, which was called I Loved You at Your Darkest, I believe. I don't think I listened to it because I don't really listen to too much Behemoth after Zia Zos Culta or Kia Zos Culta, whatever the fuck that album is. Maybe the album after that, Demigod. But yeah, I don't really listen to too much modern Behemoth. Now, Belphegor, on the other hand, Belphegor stupendous shit within the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm definitely more of a Belphegor guy than I am a Behemoth guy. Hope we get some new Gorgoroth soon, because it's been like forever since that Bestialis or whatever the fuck album came out.
I think Toxic Holocaust is putting out a new album this year, or supposed to anyway.
Yep. Yeah, new Toxic Holocaust is coming. According to Joel Grind, some new Yellowgoat is being, so who knows, maybe next year for that, but looking forward to both of those for sure. If Tiger Junkies is part of his projects, I know, but if anyone knows anything else that Joel Grind has worked on or put out, definitely let me know in the comments section, because I know Toxic Holocaust, Tiger Junkie, Yellowgoat, Wraith, and something else he's on, but I think he's also in like a grindcore project. So if you know Joel Grind related projects, definitely comment in the comment section. Let me know about them, because anything he touches gold in mine. I also need to check out the new album that got, I think, the end of last year by the Casualties with the new vocalist. The guy from the Crumbs is the list now, and I enjoyed the Crumb Bums. They're really good stuff. I need to get some of their albums, and since the new vocalist has joined, recorded an album with him. I can't remember what the fucking name is because why would I? But yeah, I need to check that out. There's another punk band that released an album. They're really good called Depression or something like that. Oh, I can't remember their name. I don't think it's The Unseen. That seems wrong. But I think it was another street punk band. Fuck, I wish I knew the name of it. It's like a white album, like drawn to kind of stylized skull and rose on it. Called Depressing, similar. Fuck. I've seen it a million times on my Instagram line. So if anyone knows what I'm talking about, please comment. Disentomb needs to come out with a new album. That's for sure. Yeah. More slooms.
That would definitely be sick when that comes out.
Have you heard the new Blink-182 single?
No. Honestly, I don't care to, especially since they announced that tour with Lil Wayne. Jesus.
Yeah, it's not the best. I know there's some people that for some reason are expecting Dude Ranch stuff, yeah. But like we're never gonna see Dude Ranch style Blink-182 again. It's gonna be more pop punk stuff that's slightly urban and hip-hop influenced, especially since you got the guy from
Matt Skiba from Alkaline Trio.
That, yeah, the Trio band. He's actually not too bad with Blink-182. I don't mind it so much. At times, he sort of sounds like Tom, but yeah, I think with Alkaline Trio's influence and now touring with Lil Wayne, you're probably going to get a little more urban hip-hop influenced Blink-182. I don't think we're ever going to see like that skater punk style again.
Nope. That died a while ago.
Also, the dude... Yeah, and also the dudes are in their 50s, so yeah. Good luck. No, if you want that kind of stuff, just get the new Bad Religion or Pennywise, I guess. Yeah. The new Pennywise isn't that good, though. Testament, yeah, they're probably working on a new album. And hopefully it's better than Brotherhood of the Snake. Hopefully it's closer to Dark Roots of Earth, which at certain times kind of reminds me of Hell Yeah. So that's neat. I enjoy Hell Yeah. The last album was really good. Blood something. I can't remember the name of it. Blood? Was it Blood Brothers? Why does that seem wrong? That seems wrong. Someone Google that quickly for me. I don't know. Chad him down. Greg Tribbett is always a good guitarist, so no complaints there. No, the there is actually no Blood Brothers album. There's Blood for Blood, Brother, but the new is actually called Undeniable. That one was actually pretty good. I liked Undeniable. But yeah, Mudvayne needs to come back. There needs to be a new Mudvayne album. We're never gonna get LD again. At least something with that style would be cool. You'd probably see a good number of people buy it, nostalgic, so they make money.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't think of anything new that I'd like to see besides just the maybe thrash bands that need to come out with some stuff that hasn't come to me. Yeah. No, I can't really think of the new wave of old school thrash metal that's been happening recently.
What was that? You cut out at the beginning of it.
Oh, I was just asking what a new wave of old school thrash metal that's been happening lately.
I think it's pretty good. I think there's loads of good bands. I think some of them are ripping off some of the legendary bands a bit too much, but a lot of bands, especially like the bands that have the black and thrash elements to it, I think those ones are really good, like Wraith or Evoker. I really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, thrash is, I think after death metal, thrash is my favorite genre. So I'm always itching to find new thrash metal bands too.
For sure, man. Like, there's some decent ones that have been coming out with stuff recently, like Dustbolt,
Yeah,
Havok, Warbringer. Oh, what's that one? I'm blanking right now, but it was on the 10 black or favorite thrash metal bands on J-Hoff Films like a few videos back, and they're Canadian.
Hazzerd.
Fuck, what is the name of that damn band? I need... Who?
Is it Hazzerd?
Oh, they're really good, and they're coming out with a new album this year. I cannot wait for that. Actually, that was a good call, man. Looking for Hazzerd. But no, I think it starts with a T. It's not Nightmare, like a death metal band. It's like Thrash Destruction was one of their albums. Oh my god, I'm getting fucking frustrated now. It's a really good band. Canadian thrash bands. All right, don't fail me, Google.
You got me stumped right now on who it could be.
Fuck. I think they're from Alberta, but I'm probably wrong. Not Exciter. No. No, not Thriven. They haven't been a band for years. Damn it. Oh. It's like a name that's like fright or fear or thrill or that. Something to do with fear. It's gonna annoy me when I finally stumble upon it because there's no reason why I shouldn't know it. And Google's just failing me miserable right now. Holy hell.
You got me stumped. I can't think of any right now.
Well, the album is Weapons of Thrash Destruction, so I'm just going to type that in.
See what you come up with.
Terrifier.
Oh, them. Yeah,
This fucking band right here.
yeah, they're good.
They're great. Terrifier is definitely one that hopefully comes out with a new album soon, if not already has. Game Over is another great kind of new thrash band that's recently that are pretty decent. This was their second album, I think, right here. Burst Into Quiet. Who the fuck? Chemicide? Never heard of them, but that looks neat.
Me neither.
But yeah, there we go. I just randomly discovered a new one. So check that out if you can see it. It's called Chemicide.
That looks sick.
Yeah. Untimely Demise, another really good Canadian thrash metal, recently came out with an album called Never Not Too Late or something like that. Holy fuck. Come on, where is it? Well, that's not helping at all. Go on. Untimely Demise. Go. No, it keeps bringing me back to the same stupid thing. But Untimely Demise came out with an album pretty recently that's really good. I only have their third album or something. That's what it is. No Promise of Tomorrow. So, yeah, go check out Untimely Demise. No Promise of Tomorrow. Great Canadian thrash. Okay, so yeah, I got their first and second album, City of Steel and Systematic Eradication. So I'm a little behind. I also need to get Black Widow. So let's see what the chat says here. I wish Annihilator would come out with a new album. I mean, maybe if they had thrash vocals and not random kind of clean vocals. I'm not really a fan of their clean vocals. What about Nocturnal Ad? Who the heck is up? Or AD? Nocturnal AD? I don't know who they are. Do you know who they are?
I've heard of them. I can't remember offhand what genre they play. Death or thrash. I can't remember which.
Oh.
But yeah, it's been a while since they put out a new album.
According to Fraser Dawson, Exciter is at work on a new album. So there you go. Any of you speed metal maniacs, you got some new speed metal coming your way, apparently. And as usual, we probably have Drowning the Light and some Black Funeral probably coming soon too, because those guys are always busy making stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing a new Mayhem album. I don't know, maybe with Maniac back on vocals, because I'm not a Cesar outside of Tormentor. I don't know. Emperor could come with something new, because the last two albums were kind of
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind something new from Acranius. Acranius could come out with something new like every year, and I'd be all over it. Same with Gutrectomy. Some nice slam mixed with some breakdowns. Always, always good for a fun time. Still need to pick up the newest Craft and Shining albums, White Noise and Black Metal, and Varg Uton Flock. I need to get those in my collection eventually.
Yeah, I need to get the new Shining one for sure.
We're going to see anything new Necrophagist. Steve really wants to see a new Vital Remains album. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we already mentioned the Darkthrone album, Old Star. It should be good, for sure.
Definitely.
Who else, man? Like, there's so many we could probably be talking about right now.
Yeah, I know. The list is just going to go on and on anyway.
New Immolation is always nice, yeah.
It's been a couple of years since they
classic death metal.
Been a couple of years since they released an album. It'd definitely be nice to hear a new one. Although
I know Fidel M was raving about the last one they came out with.
Atonement. Yeah, that's pretty good album. Fucking yeah, I think the list is really just going to end up being endless, you know, because you know, we all like so many bands, and you know, there's a lot of bands that haven't come out with albums in a couple of years. So, you know, we really could be here all day just saying that we want to hear a new album from a band.
Yeah, fair enough, man. I was trying to see quickly if there's anything noteworthy coming out this week before. Apparently Bad Religion actually did come up with a new album in May 3rd called Age of Unreal. I'll have to check that out.
Sick. I didn't know that.
Apparently. Yeah, man. Apparently Abnormality came out with a new one called Sociopathic Constructs. Oh, yeah. 1349 came out with a new one called Dodds Camp. Fuck, I'm going to check that out.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I think that came out at the end of last year. I could be wrong, though.
It says May 31st, but seems wrong considering this is May. So maybe that's supposed to come out? Yeah, okay, so yeah, it's supposed to be coming end of this month. Derp.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, Exhumer. Hostile Defiance was in April.
Oh, yeah. I still have to check that one out. I'm wearing this shirt, but I haven't listened to their new album yet.
So, oh yeah, Children of Bodom. They came out with Hexed on so fuck. I'm gonna have to check that out. I always enjoyed Children of Bodom.
Amon Amarth just put out their new album last week. When I went to see them with Slayer, that was actually the day that their album came out. I actually think their album's pretty good. And one of my next.
That's called Berserker, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm gonna end up talking about it in one of my next collection updates. But yeah, I got that bitch signed on CD.
Hell yeah. I hear the name has of nice new twists and turns in it.
Yeah, it does. There's actually a couple songs where he does this stuff that's almost like singing. No, it's not, because he still has that growling element to it, but it sounds pretty cool. It flows perfectly. It's only in 2 songs, and I have high doubts Amon and Marth would end up going down that road anyway, where they have singing in every single song. But you know, what he does is pretty good on the album.
Nice. It probably has that kind of native culture to it, really kind of that Nord Viking kind of ancestry.
Yeah, I think it does. It sounds pretty cool too, and I guess it's some parts too. Like, it almost does sound spoken word as well. You know, I say it's more singing though, just because it has kind of a melodic sound to it, like he's singing, but you know, it does kind of sound like he is doing spoken word as well. Which there's nothing bad with it. I don't think it's a concept record, but just the way the album flows and the way that he has that in there, you know, it kind of does sound like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Amon Amarth is always a good time anyways.
Yeah.
Actually, I just saw something. Well, the guys from Amon Amarth and the guys from Ailstorm kind of did like a super group. So it's like a pirate and Viking metal.
Yeah. I heard about that. I haven't listened to it yet though.
No, I'm just saying, what if Ailstorm and On Amarth got together to do something like that? I'm just saying that would be cool.
That would be sick as fuck. I would.
Yeah, man.
I'd definitely be down to listen to that.
Anywho, man, I know you got to get going. I don't want to keep you, and this has actually gone longer than I thought it was going anyways. And we've quite a few bands and artists, so I think this has been pretty good, pretty productive. Hope everyone watching has enjoyed the stream so far. We've actually pretty much ran the normal length of a stream. You know, we're actually only planning on doing about an hour, depending on how tonight. You guys got lucky and we did almost the full 2-hour stream. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much to Matt from the Green Iron Cannibal channel for joining me here and making this conversation interesting and keeping the ball rolling. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of our stream tonight. Thank you guys in the chat for contributing to the discussion here, throwing in your thoughts for what bands you'd like to see come out with either new albums or what artists you'd like to see do different genres. It was really fun, very creative talk tonight. Really enjoyed it. So that's it for the 25th episode of Sinister Sunday. Stay cool, guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers and good night.
Hails.